So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special last episode of Fired Up Live. You could tell from the background that things are a little bit different today. So, for the last episode, unfortunately, we're not in the same studio. We are on the road right now, and we have a lot going on this week. Helping my brother-in-law right now with some installations. We have the Dragon Pizza Oven. We got some Broaster fryers down here as he gets ready for his grand opening. And listen, we're New Jersey, New York City. We're here to help you too. So you just let me know. And we're live, brother. We're live in here, live on set.
I get to say hello.
So Lisa's here. Before we introduce our guests, Lisa's here, right here.
Hello.
So she'll be assisting me just in case I go off course here. So this is just, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to have a good conversation, and I think it's coming at the perfect time to talk about food equipment service technicians and the trades in general. Our friend Pat Finley and Sefesa, they released yesterday that yesterday was National Food Equipment Service Tech Day.
Yeah.
It should be on the calendar, and it should be observed every year, and we should talk about it more and more because these men and women are behind the scenes making sure that businesses stay afloat, that restaurants stay cooking, supermarkets, hospitals, all the places that you frequent on a daily basis stay afloat. So without further ado, we're going to talk about tools. We're going to talk about what should be in a rookie's bag, what should be in a veteran's bag, what should be in all the bags. And we lost Dylan.
We did lose Dylan. That's okay.
But we'll bring him in a minute, and we're going to talk about the trade. So our first guest, we're going to bring him right in, Andrew Brown, who you may see all over your LinkedIn feed for sure, promoting the trades on a daily basis. Andrew, thanks for being here, and give everybody a little introduction on who you are and what you do.
Hey, Rich. Well, I'm glad to be here on the last episode. That's exciting. It's good to see you again. Just a little bit of back history about me. I co-founded an online tool and equipment business named ToolFetch with my brother a little over 20 years ago. And we sell tools to the skilled trades. So professionals like welders and carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and other blue collar skilled trades. And these are the men and women who are building, repairing our infrastructure, bridges, tunnels, and roads. And we offer one of the largest online tool and equipment catalogs online with over 1 million different products from 650 different vendors. So products like lifts, cement mixers, drain cleaners, products like that to the skilled trades.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And we also have another guest here. Lisa, bringing him in. Dylan, my man Dylan.
Yeah, y'all.
So Dylan, do a little intro. Let us know who you are and what you do.
So I am a branch manager for United Service Technologies. We repair commercial kitchen equipment in restaurants, grocery store chains. You have it, we fix it. I have been in the industry for a long time. It feels longer and longer as the days go by. But I started out when I was younger. I enjoyed taking things apart, fixing things. That passion grew into fixing cars and machinery. And then I got into the kitchen equipment sector and worked in that for about 8 years in some different roles, and left the industry and got a passion to come back to the industry. So I've been back in now for 8 to 9 years. And I just really have a passion for it. I love taking things apart, fixing things, and yeah.
Love it. Well, thanks for being here, both you guys. And as different comments or questions arise, we'll definitely filter them out. Pat Finley's here. He says, "What's up? What's going on, Pat?" So listen, let's dive into the trades. Andrew, you are constantly promoting the trades, which is so needed. It needs to continue to be done. We need to keep sharing it and talking about it. And obviously you mentioned you're in the tool business for a long time, selling tools to all the different trades. What are the top tools you're selling to these different trades? Let's talk about that. I mean, are you selling? Is it welders? Is it construction? Is it electricians? What are some of these top tools that we're seeing out there, and some of these conversations you might be having with these people?
Yeah, some of the top areas that we sell in are the construction industry, plumbing, and we also are really big in material handling. Those are the three top categories that we sell, and of course we dive into other products and services as well. It's hard to define which ones are the top ones per se. There's certain lines that move and are more popular than others. Some of the name brands like Milwaukee Tools and DeWalt, people are going to know. but some of the brands that are a little bit more obscure, people may not know. Something like in the plumbing world, that would be Reed Manufacturing or Rigid, Wheeler Rex. Those are a few names out there, but mostly, products across the board. It's so diverse.
Yeah.
To welders, it's welding machines or torches or consumables. If it's electricians, it's going to be specialized products to that particular group of people. So it really depends. But overall, it's a vast, huge amount of products that we carry and serve our customers.
Yeah. And Dylan, for you, obviously in the food equipment side, refrigeration, cooking, all that, what are the top 3 tools in your bag right now? What are you going in every day with that you need to have?
Well, actually, it may seem simple, but a universal screwdriver, a multimeter, and a cell phone. A lot of people don't think about a cell phone as a tool, but it's quite a tool, especially with all the apps available today.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's becoming, one of those necessities in the tool bag. I mean, we're seeing it more and more, especially with combi technology and stuff of that nature. And Andrew, so I'd love to even give like a little bit more insight. You're always promoting. What is what's your heart? What's behind the promotion of the trades? Let's really give the people an understanding of how important it is, because it's important to you. I mean, I see the passion pouring out of your face every day when I sign on. I love it. What's behind that?
Yeah, so to give some context to the audience, so if I could take you back to September 11, 2001, I was 23 years old, living in New York City at the time. The planes had just hit the buildings, and I got a crazy idea with my friend in Rhode Island at the time that we're going to go down there. We're going to help. And with some convincing, he came in, and he comes in this big blue truck with an American flag on the back, and he's dressed up as a tradesperson, and he's got a set of overalls and a hard hat for me. And all of a sudden, I find myself racing down the West Side Highway in New York City from checkpoint to checkpoint. And we make it all the way down to where the Trade Center once stood. This is only just a couple of days after the buildings had fallen. And I found myself now staring up of where the Trade Center once stood. And the entire day, I was helping first responders, emergency workers, firefighters, and tradespeople find survivors the entire day. And I was just watching the tradespeople on the site. They just did anything necessary to find survivors. Some had no protection on. Some were running into unstable structures. You talk about life-changing events. I was an IT guy. I wasn't a tool guy. And that changed me not only personally, but professionally, that after that situation, I quit my job in IT, not a good job in the city at the time, put my 2 weeks notice in. And then for weeks and months, I had sleepless nights. And that's where I came up with my tool and equipment company to give back to the skilled trades and everything I saw that day. And I made a commitment to show up and to keep putting out messages about the skilled trades and the shortage and everything that's going on, because I want to be a voice or a beacon, because I feel sometimes they don't have a voice. And that's why I show up every day beating the drum about the skilled trades. If it all goes back to about 22 years ago, and it just keeps the fire in the belly.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's life changing. I mean that's a life changing moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dylan, maybe it wasn't life changing for you, but I know for us, I mean, finding our way into what we do and why we're so loud and proud about what we do. We know, for me, this is giving me my life. This industry is giving me my life, and a lot of times how do you find this industry? My friends didn't know what I do. They still don't know what I do, and it's like either born into it or you kind of stumble upon it. So how did you get involved in this industry? Because it's not a normal thing.
Yeah, actually, it was one of those. Somebody found me. I was 16, and there was a gentleman who ran the kitchen repair department at Texas Tech University. At that time, there were 13 dorm kitchens across campus, and he needed somebody to help. And he was asking people, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody who's good with their hands? And I had been working in another department for only about 2 months or so, and he approached me, and he offered me a job. And he said, listen, I need help with repairing everything top to bottom in these 13 dorm kitchens. And so I spent the first 4 years working for Texas Tech, only working in their kitchens. And you want to talk about some old equipment. you go to a state-run university and it's old equipment. But, you know, that led me into, you know, I said previously how I really had a passion to take things apart and repair them. I spent the first 4 years doing that, moved into hydronic HVAC, worked with the steam and chill plant on fixing that equipment. And then, you know, it was just somebody taking a chance on me. That's what started that desire. And I left that industry for 5 years and went into the oil field and kind of honed my skills, learned more, played with explosives. But as we all know, the oil field's up and down. So in late 2015, oil field fell out. And while I was looking for a job, I stumbled across kitchen technician needed. And I thought, well, heck, you know, I used to do that. I'm sure I could still do it. Now, let me tell you, going from the oil field back into kitchen equipment technician job was a huge financial change for my family. However, it was what was available, and I knew I had the skill set to do it. So again, company took a chance on me, and throughout my 3 years with the previous company, I grew with them, became a manager, and led a team of technicians across 14 states. And then I moved to where I am now with United Service Technologies. And again, every job I started from the ground up, proved myself, worked with everybody, mentored other technicians, and worked my way up. And now I'm a branch manager of North Texas and Oklahoma. But through that, I think what drives me every day is knowing that what we do helps feed other people. So if they don't have kitchen equipment working, if they don't have restaurants open, other people can't feed their family. So it's just as important for me to do the job as it is for them to get paid.
Yeah, it's just true. I mean, this is what the trades is all about. It's the people that you don't really maybe see every day, just coming in. You have the linemen, you have the welders, you have the electricians, the plumbers, the food equipment service guys on the line, on the roof in the summer. I mean, we're getting out of the summer, thankfully, give these guys a break. But I mean, it's in Arizona. Josh was saying it was 140 degrees on the roof. I mean, you know, this is important. This is important stuff that we're doing, and that's why I continue to talk about it. We started this journey in 2018, talking about it every day, and we continue to do it. And so, Andrew, I don't know. I know. We, like you said, you're in the tool side, but you're go. I would like to know more, like 9/11. What was? Are there any tools or anything that we could talk about that were intricate pieces to the puzzle for you on that day? I mean, I might be on the spot. I don't know, but is there anything that you could think of that?
Any of the tools that
I mean, I'm not, what you guys were utilizing on these job sites, or different anything interesting just to bring to the, if not, I mean, that's okay. I'm just trying to kind of play off of, because that was a pretty interesting story.
Yeah. You want to know more about the tools the tradespeople were using on the site?
Sure.
Or
Sure. Anything you could share more with us about that experience?
Yeah, I mean, it was any real means necessary. So it's either, you know, pickaxes to saws to hand tools to whatever means necessary to welding, like anything to remove rubble or to get through. You know, think about how much, you know, of you know, steel and all the different things that obviously came down during the world, you know, the issue in the World Trade Center. It was just an experience of just being there and just watching them do whatever it took to get through and find the true survivors. That was really, you know, like I said, for me, it was such a life-changing event that you know, it brings back memories every time that I talk about it.
Yeah. And so Pat Finley jumps in. His favorite, I guess, tool right now is number one is his field piece, SC 680 meter. You using that, Dylan?
I have a multitude of meters. But you know, one of the questions was, what should you carry? You know, what tools should you have? And you know, that's a multimeter is a tool you have to have, right? But it also depends on what you're testing. You know, I carry 3 different meters in my truck. I don't know the model of them off the top of my head, but I carry 3 different ones because I'm testing all types of different things. And so, you know, if you have a meter that's capable of doing that or has the attachments to do that, that's great. But I prefer multiple ones so that I can test multiple things on a piece of equipment at one time.
Correct. Yeah, I'm talking about combi ovens and stuff of that nature. I mean, obviously you have to have your fluid analyzer. How important is that to a tool bag today?
Today, it's very important. As much as combis have grown, and fortunately, fluid analyzers have come down in some cost. You know, they used to be one of those tools. It was a very prime tool. One technician had it, and you had to share it. And now it's becoming a regular part of the technician's day.
Yeah. And if we could just kind of, Dylan, if you could just elaborate how important a fluid analyzer is for kitchens and safety. Like, give everybody maybe a little rundown on what's the importance of it is.
Yeah, so with a gas fluid analyzer, you have to set the combustion on equipment. And so, you know, with combi ovens, bakery ovens, any type of gas-powered piece of equipment, it's vital to have it set properly to have the correct ppms and CO2, because if you don't, you can be doing a multitude of things. You can be releasing live gas through the exhaust system into the air. You can be producing too much carbon monoxide. And you'll also cause internal combustion inside of heat exchangers, which can cause them to blow up. There are certain ones out there that are very tight tolerances, and if you have too much fuel being introduced into the combustion blower of the motor, it can actually implode. That's happened in the industry. I know in Ohio a few years back, a couple of technicians working on a bakery oven didn't properly know how to set it, and unfortunately the oven blew up on them. And so not only is it dangerous not to set those, however, it's also critical that you set them correctly so that the people who are using the machine are safe around it.
100%. Yeah, and you see Carl jumped in here. He's from former Rationale tech manager. Fluid analyzers are absolutely critical. They are. I mean, this is, there's a lot of stuff that's, we're in the safety business first too. We're dealing with gas, electric. We're dealing with carbon monoxide. This is important stuff. So, Andrew, I want to get you continue involved in the conversation. So, as a promoter of the trades, because I want to continue discussion on building this up. What's for you? I see you talking about welders. I see you talking about electricians and plumbers. Let's talk to those, because we have some of those in our audience here as well. What's some of the, maybe for the young guy watching, why does he need to join one of these trades right now?
Well, it's an interesting point. So especially when you're a young individual, and especially when you're thinking about going to college versus going into some type of trade, right? I went to college myself. I did 4 years. And I've said this before, but I came out more confused out of school than when I was in school. And I bounced around from major to major. So I have insight, obviously, into the college route. And I feel that for some people, it's great to go to college and get an education and get a degree. That's perfectly fine. But what's not stated and then what's not talked about are the trades. So when an individual kid is sitting down with a guidance counselor, what's being spoken about at that point? Is the trades even a path at that time? It would be great if parents, teachers, and guidance counselors had the information more about the trades and what the offering is, that there is a viable career path, that you can succeed. There is a ladder of success there. And there's less debt than college. You can go to trade school, you can get an apprenticeship, you can make money while you're working. A case in point, and if any electricians are listening, I have a family member who was in the corporate world and made a shift. Now he's in his early to mid 30s, and he's making a shift into being an electrician. He just was fed up. I don't want to be in the corporate environment, and I want to be an electrician. I said, that's wonderful. And I helped him and introduced him to a few different people that can help him. And now he is in school and he's looking at different opportunities. But he said, I can only, in my corporate job, I'm capped. But as an electrician, if I could build my skills up and maybe run a business one day or have my own business one day, sky's the limit. Yes. So I think it's a great opportunity for anyone who's listening who's younger to consider the skilled trades, because you can make six figures with less debt, and those skills never go away. Yeah. And with 40% retiring over the next 5 or 10 years, you have the opportunity to make some good money.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you know, if you get in this trades right now, it doesn't matter what trade you pick. I mean, obviously we're in the food equipment side, but there's so many different ones. You could write your own ticket. I mean, you get in there and you really give your all to this for at least 5, I would say 5 years. You dive in and you learn everything. At the end of those 5 years, like you said, you're going to have something you can take anywhere. If you want to, one day you pick up, if you're living over in New York City, like we are, New Jersey, one day you say, I want to move to Florida. I mean, you can go anywhere with this. You'll always have a place to go. And if you want to start your own company, of course, I mean, there's no end to the opportunity that's here. And Dylan, you know, talking about this training, are you training guys yourself? You have young guys training around you. What does that look like from United Service Technology side?
Yeah, so as we've grown as an organization, I've not been directly training, but I had trained plenty of techs in the past.
Right.
Now, so much we have an organization that's part of the company that does internal training. So there's actually a class going on right now at one of our offices where we have newer technicians doing electrical training. It's a 5-day class. They learn about every switch, every transformer, how to test every type of electricity, so that when they get out there, they know the path of electricity. They know how to test the unit. We also do gas and steam classes. We do combi oven classes. We do a whole multitude of that. And what we do with that is we bring the guys in who are newer and need to learn it. And we also put guys who have been in the field for a while back into those, because as you grow, you have guys who don't know the newest equipment, right? They might show up to it. They might see it every once in a while, but they're really familiar with the analog. And now we need to get them familiar with the digital side of it. And so you can't forget when you're training, you've got to make sure the guys who've been with you for a while also are staying up to par with the newer guys coming in and the education that they're receiving.
Yeah, and then we have Carl jump back in. He said, I feel like I need to chip in again. Trades are incredibly viable path for those who are neurodivergent. People who have autism or ADHD can excel in the field in ways they can't in many other traditional careers.
That's absolutely true.
Yep.
I've worked with many individuals who have had conditions as such, and they actually do excel very well in this industry. From my point of view, you are your own company. You're working a service van. You're doing jobs. You're going out there, but it also gives you that independence and the ability to work at your own terms. So we try not to micromanage our guys too much. You know, we have to make sure they're doing their stuff correctly, they're taking care of the customer and fixing equipment. But we also inspire them that you are basically your own little business, each van that rolls out.
Yeah, that's true. Andrew, anything on that? Or
you put in what you get out.
Yeah.
Or you get it, or you put in, yeah.
You get what you get.
Yeah, if you put the hard work in, you'll get a lot out of it. But you got to put the time, effort into it. And you talked about training. Training is extremely important, especially having a mentor, somebody who is, 15, 20 years in, who can kind of put their arm around you, right? And take you and say, hey, I've been down this road. I can show you the path. And everybody was new at some point, right? And you always wanted that older individual to really guide you.
Yeah.
So it's always good to pay it forward. If you are 15, 20 years in and there's a new person coming in, help them out, because we were all new one time, and that can help that person really get to the level much quicker of success and not fall into all these traps that maybe you did. So I'm a big believer in training and mentorship, and I think companies need to do a better job in that case. Not every company does that, but the companies that do excel, retain employees, and they attract new ones as well. So it's extremely important.
Yeah, it sure is. And that's something that we've been working on too. We have young guys training now, and over the next couple of years, we're going to look to really develop that mentorship program. We have 2 young guys that we actually pulled out of a high school. They're thriving right now. They're doing so well. And what we're going to be doing in the new year is building some kind of we're going to have a council with these 2 young guys who started at 18 are now going to be 23. We're going to have those guys to the head of it, and we're going to start filtering younger guys in through them and have them be that younger mentor while they also ride with the senior technician and learn from different training schools with the guys, like you said, that are the 15, 20 years in. So they're going to have it from both angles. It's for us, like you said, we want to retain, we want to bring in, we want to retain, we want them to grow, we want them to say, hey, listen, come and join us over here. There's endless opportunities, and that's the trades too. I mean, it's just endless opportunities everywhere you go. So when you we got some things going on here. Sorry, guys. So in training and getting these new young guys on the vans. I mean, they're always interested in what I should get, what I should buy. So that's why another reason this conversation was kind of important, because I love to hear what other companies and what other people across the trades are doing. We just got a Pro Press. So I don't know if you're familiar with those. So those, especially on the refrigeration side, that can cut down time in half. Have either of you guys, Andrew,
what was the brand of Pro Press?
I think it might have been Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, sure. I
think it was a Milwaukee Pro Press, and we just invested in that. I mean, are these a hot seller out there? And Dylan, are you using these?
We aren't using them. We don't do a ton of plumbing past the unit. So what we're doing, we're not doing a lot of Pro Press. But I have seen them, and they're quite cool.
They're actually extremely popular for us. So we carry the Milwaukee. But Rich, we're here for you if you need us in the future. But and a few other manufacturers that make them as well. But it's an investment in. It's not a cheap item by any means, but time savings is
that's it. Yeah. So let's talk some here. So hand tools. What kind of hand tools, Dylan? We're looking at screwdrivers, high voltage, flatheads. What's some of the stuff that we need to pay attention to on that end?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, if you're getting into the trades and you're not sure what to buy, right? There's so many tools out there. I have everything from a shoulder bag to a backpack for rooftops. I used to have the Milwaukee stacks that were 10 boxes deep. I could roll in. I've had a plethora of all of that. But if you're getting into the trades, just keep this in mind. Buy what you can afford. Buy the best that you can afford right now, because your arsenal is going to grow over time and as you divert into other equipment. So you don't need to own every tool right off the bat. Actually, see if my camera will let me do this. I've got thousands of tools. Okay. This is what I now walk into. Oh, if it'll let me. What I now walk into a job with. Okay. It's a shoulder bag. It's got screwdrivers, pliers, manometer, meter, little side bag for stuff. I brought that in here so I could show it. But, you don't have to have everything off the shelf. And sometimes you don't have to have, the whole aisle of tools. But if you have, your basic screwdriver, high voltage screwdriver, pliers, Allen wrenches, crescent wrench, wire strippers, multimeter, manometer if you're going to be working with gas equipment, electrical tape, the basics. And I put all those in that side chat. Mine's not logged in, so it won't let me chat on the channel. But that right there is, I can carry that bag in and fix 90% of the things I got to work on.
Wow. Okay.
I got tired of breaking my back carrying, 500 tools into a job when I only needed 10.
Yeah. I remember when I first started and I was just kind of rolling around with another technician, probably when I was 19 years old. And we brought in, he would go, young Rich, go unload the truck. I was wheeling things in on hand trucks. We had buckets and we went in with a million things. So it's obviously things have changed a lot, and efficiencies. We have a lot better options today. But
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rich.
No, please. Yeah.
And that's a great list, Dylan. Your tape measures, your hammers, your screwdrivers, your pliers, right? Your adjustable wrench, your levels, your chalk lines, your safety gear, your tool belts, your safety boots, and your toolbox. There's quite a few things that you need depending on the trade that you're in. And we try to work with trade schools, by offering kits to them and giving them special pricing. So we know that they're just coming out of school and, there's only so much maybe they can afford. So we try to work with different trade schools for them just coming out. But it takes time to build up your arsenal of tools and equipment, right? So you got to buy what you can afford, and then over time you can replace them with possibly more higher end products. But obviously, just the basics of getting you started, what Dylan listed and what I mentioned as well, will definitely, in mostly any trade, will get you started.
Absolutely. And so I put your website. It's toolfetch.com here. So if anyone in our audience is looking for certain things, I know I searched that you have a lot of different products. So and that's
it's a fun place. It's a playground.
Yeah,
it is.
So Dylan's gonna get off here and go search it now.
I've been searching it. Don't worry.
So we'll put that up and maybe Andrew, we should talk because I'm sure these guys are going to need more things, and I'd rather work with someone like you who really cares about the people and the trades rather than just going to good old Home Depot or something. Nothing wrong with Home Depot. So and Carl wanted to let us know here. Listen, I'm not on my computer. Your Bic lighter isn't a gas sniffer. So
he's right. I've had people say that.
There you go. So listen, before we start to wind it down, I mean, any interesting stories or any MacGyver stories or any kind of funny humor stories you guys have in your journey through this, whether it's happened to you or somebody else? Anybody can take it. Dylan, you got anything?
I mean, everything I do is somewhat MacGyver.
Or any kind of funny, interesting, humorous things along the way. Could be anything.
You ever driven a car with a pair of vice grips?
No.
Can't say that I have.
This is years ago, but I was younger and I was driving this old Pontiac Firebird, the 90s model that were ugly in my opinion. And the steering wheel came off while I was driving it. Like broke the nut off, whole steering wheel came off. And I was able to get off the road safely. And I had a pair of vice grips in the passenger floorboard. And so I clamped those onto the steering wheel drive shaft and drove the rest of the way with a pair of vice grips.
Oh boy. All right, well, that's interesting.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been into different kitchens and I'm sure you have. I mean, we get calls for my fryer's not lighting. And then sadly we go in and we find the opossum who's been electrocuted inside the fryer. That's always interesting and fun to have to remove.
Those mice across 3-phase are real good.
Oh yeah. So I don't know anything interesting out there, Andrew, that you've come across with guys and buying tools or in your travels, or
unless you want to, I've seen. Well, actually, this is my experience that. Hanging some pictures instead of with a level. I had no level, so I used a broom. And don't ask me why I used a broom, but I got it level. If you call that a MacGyver story, did what I had to do, but I got it straight. I was very satisfied because of it. So.
There you go. Perfect. So, guys, we'll take this one down. I wish I was in my studio. I would have probably been a little bit better, more prepared. I apologize. And we're going to find Andrew at toolfetch.com. Andrew, anywhere else you want to plug? Anything else we should be going to see?
I'm very active on LinkedIn. So if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, I'm always talking about the skilled trades, about obviously the shortage in the skilled trades. So catch me in the feeds. I'll be all over the feeds with videos that I put out each day. On YouTube, it's under Toolfetch. Or if you just want to talk to me about tools or the skilled trades, I'm here.
Love it. Dylan, what about you? Should we find you anywhere? Or United Service Technologies?
Yeah, with United Service Technologies, you can. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So if you want to look me up, it's Dylan Taylor. And yeah, I'm always happy to connect. I'm in the Fed group on Facebook. And I'm on LinkedIn.
Yeah, Andrew, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but I invite you to come into our community over there. Food Equipment Digital Disruptors. Thousands of guys and gals talking about different areas of the trades every day. So we'll take it down, guys. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, guys. Really
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking down the last episode, and I do apologize to everyone in the audience for not being in the studio and kind of being on the road. This is not how we usually like to do it, but we did it. and I appreciate it. It's been a long, beautiful season. We had a lot of controversial conversations, especially early on with OEM parts distribution, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
That was an interesting one. So there was a lot of good episodes. Last week we had, was it last week or Crave?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the weeks are all combining. We talked about marketing. We talked about OEM parts distribution. We talked about everything you could possibly think of, from NRA to NAFM to, geez, just everything.
We had a really great season.
It was
I
a great
think
season.
we
Even
have a-
facilities with Taz, we were talking about the facilities management and just the way the world is kind of changing and shifting with acquisitions and consolidation, all the different things that are happening to our industry. You know, we got to continue to talk about it, and we will. So this season is done, ladies and gentlemen. We have the rest of the year.
Yeah, we'll see everyone at Cefesa.
We'll be seeing everyone at Cefesa Conference in San Antonio. So hopefully we'll have some chats there, and maybe we'll even go live or do something fun there. We could do that maybe.
Possibly.
We'll see. Until then, listen, you'll see us on LinkedIn. You'll see us on YouTube. We're not going to stop putting out tons of content. So we appreciate your support and engagement over the course of the year. And we'll look forward to talking with you guys more. So stay fired up. I will see you next season. I guess Happy New Year.
Happy Halloween first.
Happy Halloween.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for everything.